The New York Knicks are getting ready to break through a disappointing pattern that has plagued their performance in the NBA Cup tournament. While the team has shown strong capabilities during the group stage matches, they have consistently stumbled when reaching the knockout rounds of this relatively new competition. The franchise has built an impressive record in the qualifying games, winning 9 out of 12 group stage contests across the tournament's 2-year history. This success rate demonstrates the team's ability to compete at a high level during the initial phase of the NBA Cup. However, their performance takes a sharp downturn once they advance to the elimination rounds. In both previous editions of the tournament, the Knicks have suffered early exits from the knockout stage. The team faced elimination in their very first playoff-style game after qualifying, creating a frustrating pattern for the organization and their fans. This one-and-done fate has become a concerning trend that the current roster hopes to reverse. During the inaugural season of the NBA Cup, the Milwaukee Bucks delivered a convincing defeat to the Knicks in the knockout round. The team was unable to mount any serious challenge against Milwaukee, resulting in an uncompetitive loss that ended their tournament hopes quickly. The following year brought similar disappointment when the Atlanta Hawks eliminated New York in the knockout phase. The Hawks, who have developed into a rival team for the Knicks, managed to outduel them in what proved to be another early exit. Head coach Mike Brown has been working with the team to address these shortcomings and prepare them for better performance in high-stakes tournament games. The coaching staff recognizes that success in the NBA Cup requires a different mindset and approach compared to regular season contests. Brown has been implementing defensive adjustments and strategic changes designed to help the team handle the increased pressure of knockout basketball. The Knicks currently hold a strong 16-7 record and sit near the top of the Eastern Conference standings. This positioning gives them confidence heading into their next NBA Cup challenge. The team recently demonstrated their capabilities by defeating the Toronto Raptors with a final score of 116-94. While Toronto stayed competitive for most of the game, a late surge from the Knicks completely eliminated any chance of a Raptors comeback. OG Anunoby has recently returned to the lineup after dealing with injury issues. His presence on both ends of the floor provides the Knicks with an important two-way weapon. The team handled Toronto without Anunoby in their previous meeting, but having him available adds another dimension to their game plan. His defensive versatility and ability to guard multiple positions make him particularly valuable in tournament settings where matchups can determine outcomes. The Raptors, despite sitting at 15-10, have proven to be a challenging opponent for many teams this season. They possess a versatile offensive system that can catch unprepared teams off guard. Toronto spreads the ball effectively and features different players stepping up on different nights, making them difficult to game plan against. Their division rival status adds extra motivation to every meeting between these two franchises. Looking ahead to their upcoming NBA Cup knockout game, the Knicks face several injury concerns that could impact their chances. Karl Anthony Towns enters the matchup with questionable status due to a sore left calf. His presence in the lineup is crucial for the team's offensive flow and interior presence. Towns has been a central figure in the Knicks' offensive schemes, and his ability to stretch the floor creates opportunities for teammates. Miles McBride will miss the game as he continues to recover from nagging injuries that have kept him sidelined. His absence removes a key backup guard who provides energy and defensive intensity off the bench. Landry Shamet also remains out of the lineup with his own injury concerns. These absences force the coaching staff to adjust rotations and rely more heavily on healthy players to shoulder increased minutes. Despite these injury challenges, the Knicks possess enough talent to compete for a deep tournament run. Jalen Brunson continues to perform as the team's primary offensive engine and clutch performer. He has demonstrated repeatedly his ability to deliver in high-pressure situations, making him the ideal player to lead the team through tournament play. His recent performances have earned him recognition across the league, including an Eastern Conference Weekly honor. Mikal Bridges has settled into his role with the team and provides consistent two-way production. His acquisition from the Brooklyn Nets came at a steep price, with the Knicks surrendering multiple first-round draft picks to secure his services. After some initial adjustment period, Bridges has shown why management valued him so highly. His defensive prowess and ability to guard the opposing team's best perimeter player make him invaluable in playoff-style atmospheres. The current version of the Knicks roster represents their best chance yet to break through in the NBA Cup. The combination of veteran leadership, emerging talent, and coaching expertise creates an environment where success becomes more likely. The team has appeared in 7 playoff series over their last 3 postseason runs, accumulating valuable experience in high-stakes basketball situations. This experience should translate well well to NBA Cup knockout games, which feature intensity levels similar to playoff contests. The team understands what it takes to win when every possession matters and the margin for error shrinks. Players like Brunson, Bridges, and Towns have all performed in crucial playoff moments, giving them confidence they can handle tournament pressure. The Knicks' pursuit of a top seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs adds extra importance to their NBA Cup performance. Every competitive game provides an opportunity to build chemistry and test themselves against quality opponents. Strong tournament showings can build momentum that carries over into the regular season and beyond. New York hopes that their current roster construction and improved health compared to previous tournament runs will finally allow them to advance past the first knockout round. The team has assembled pieces that complement each other well, with defensive stoppers, offensive creators, and versatile players who can adapt to different situations. The coaching staff has emphasized the importance of starting fast and maintaining intensity throughout the entire game. In their previous tournament exits, the team struggled to match their opponent's energy level and fell behind early. Brown wants his players to bring maximum effort from the opening tip and never allow the opposition to gain momentum. Home court advantage at Madison Square Garden provides another benefit for the Knicks. Their legendary arena creates an atmosphere that can intimidate visiting teams and energize the home squad. The passionate fan base brings intensity to every game, especially in high-stakes situations like tournament basketball. As the Knicks prepare for their knockout game, they remain focused on the task at hand rather than dwelling on past disappointments. The team believes this year presents their best opportunity to finally break through and advance deeper into the NBA Cup tournament. With improved roster depth, veteran leadership, and lessons learned from previous failures, New York stands ready to snap their ugly NBA Cup trend and prove they can compete when it matters most. The New York Knicks are witnessing something special from Mikal Bridges during this current season. The two-way wing player is putting together a statistical performance that could place him in the record books if he maintains his current level of production throughout the entire campaign. Bridges arrived in New York through a blockbuster trade that sent shockwaves through the basketball world. The Knicks surrendered a massive package to the Brooklyn Nets to acquire his services, including 6 first-round picks through both direct selections and pick swaps. The deal also featured multiple second-round selections and several players for salary-matching purposes, with Bojan Bogdanovic, Mamadi Diakite, and Shake Milton heading to Brooklyn. The steep price tag raised eyebrows across the league. Many observers questioned whether any player outside of established superstars warranted such an enormous investment. Critics wondered if the Knicks had overpaid for a solid but unspectacular contributor. The franchise felt differently, believing Bridges represented the perfect complementary piece to elevate their roster to championship contention. During his initial stretch with New York last season, Bridges appeared somewhat out of sync as he worked to integrate himself into the team's systems. His regular season performance showed flashes of quality but lacked the consistency many expected given the trade package. Questions arose about whether he could justify the substantial cost the organization had paid. However, when playoff basketball arrived, Bridges demonstrated exactly why management valued him so highly. His defensive intensity increased noticeably during postseason play. He took on challenging defensive assignments against the opposing team's primary threats. His ability to lock down perimeter scores while also contributing timely offensive production proved invaluable. Bridges delivered clutch scoring performances when his team needed baskets most. His playoff showing silenced many doubters and validated the front office's belief in his capabilities. Still, some observers wanted to see more consistent excellence throughout an entire season rather than just playoff stretches. This current regular season campaign has provided those answers. Bridges is performing at a level that exceeds even optimistic projections. His statistical output has improved across virtually every meaningful category, establishing new personal benchmarks in multiple areas. Despite playing fewer minutes per game this season compared to the previous campaign, Bridges is achieving career-high numbers in several categories. Last season, he averaged 37 minutes per contest, but this year, he's logging 34.3 minutes per game. The reduced playing time hasn't hurt his production whatsoever. His rebounding numbers have climbed to 4.6 per game, representing a new personal best. He's also dishing out 4.3 assists per contest, another career-high mark. His defensive statistics show remarkable improvement, with 2.0 steals per game, establishing new territory for him. Most impressively, he's blocking 1.1 shots per game, demonstrating his impact as a rim protector despite playing on the perimeter. Bridges is converting three-point attempts at an excellent 41.3% rate. This shooting efficiency makes him a dangerous offensive threat who must be respected at all times. His true shooting percentage has reached 62.3%, approaching the efficiency heights he achieved during the 2020 to 2021 campaign. These statistical achievements have positioned Bridges on the verge of NBA history. According to research shared by basketball analysts, he stands poised to become the first and only player ever to average 4 or more rebounds, 4 or more assists, 2 or more steals, 2 or more three-pointers made, and 1 or more blocks per game across an entire season. No player in league history has accomplished this combination of statistical excellence. The significance of this potential achievement cannot be overstated. Basketball has evolved tremendously over recent decades, with players developing increasingly versatile skill sets. Modern athletes are asked to contribute in multiple ways rather than specializing in narrow roles. Despite these changes and the influx of multidimensional talent, no one has achieved the specific statistical line Bridges is currently producing. His defensive impact has returned to the elite level that initially made him such a coveted trade target. During his time with the Phoenix Suns, Bridges established himself as one of the league's premier perimeter defenders. His length, lateral quickness, and basketball intelligence allowed him to neutralize opposing scorers consistently. When Brooklyn acquired him in the Kevin Durant blockbuster trade, his defensive reputation was a major selling point. After the Nets traded him to New York, there were questions about whether he could maintain that defensive excellence while taking on increased offensive responsibilities. The current season has answered those questions emphatically. Bridges is defending at an all-star level while also contributing significantly on offense. His performance under head coach Mike Brown has shown marked improvement compared to previous seasons. Brown's system seems to maximize Bridges' strengths while minimizing his weaknesses. The coaching staff has found ways to utilize his versatility without overextending him into uncomfortable situations. Beyond the impressive statistics, Bridges has earned respect from the fan base through his consistent availability and effort. He makes himself available to play every single night, maintaining remarkable durability throughout his career. His infamous consecutive games played streak has become legendary around the league. Bridges recently signed a contract extension with the Knicks, demonstrating his commitment to the organization and the city. This decision further endeared him to supporters who appreciate players embracing New York and its unique pressures. He has spoken publicly about his excitement to represent the franchise and compete for championships in Madison Square Garden. His two-way excellence fills a crucial role for a Knicks team with championship aspirations. The roster features elite scoring from Jalen Brunson and dominant interior play from Karl Anthony Towns. What the team needed was a versatile wing who could defend multiple positions while also spacing the floor offensively. Bridges provides exactly that skill set. The defensive versatility proves particularly valuable in playoff situations where teams target mismatches and hunting switches. Bridges can guard quick point guards, athletic wings, and even hold his own against smaller power forwards. This flexibility allows the coaching staff to deploy various defensive schemes without worrying about creating exploitable weak links. His offensive efficiency matters just as much as his raw statistical production. Bridges doesn't force difficult shots or disrupt the team's offensive flow. He makes smart decisions with the basketball, taking high-quality attempts within the system. His three-point shooting keeps defenses honest and creates driving lanes for teammates. The timing of Bridges' career-best season could not be better for New York. The team is dealing with various injury concerns that have sidelined key rotation players. His ability to shoulder additional responsibilities while maintaining his effectiveness has kept the Knicks competitive even when short-handed. His performance becomes even more impressive when considering he's achieving these numbers while playing alongside other talented offensive players. Bridges isn't dominating the ball or accumulating statistics through high usage rates. Instead, he's producing within the team concept, making winning plays rather than chasing individual accolades. The Knicks currently sit at 16 wins and 7 losses, positioning them among the Eastern Conference's elite team. Their success stems partly from Bridges' consistent two-way contributions that stabilize both ends of the floor. His presence allows other players to focus on their strengths rather than worrying about covering multiple roles. Looking ahead to potential all-star considerations, Bridges is putting together a resume that deserves serious recognition. While star guards and dominant big men often receive more attention, his all-around excellence and impact on winning should not be overlooked. Making his first All-Star appearance would validate his growth and acknowledge his value to a contending team. The historical significance of potentially accomplishing a statistical feat no player has ever achieved adds another compelling storyline. Basketball enthusiasts appreciate unique achievements that separate players from their peers. Bridges reaching this milestone would cement his place in NBA record books and provide validation for the massive trade package the Knicks surrendered. His defensive improvements stand out as particularly noteworthy. The combination of 2 steals and 1 block per game while maintaining low foul rates demonstrates exceptional awareness and discipline. Many defensive-minded players struggle to generate turnovers without committing excessive fouls. Bridges manages to stay active and disruptive while rarely putting himself in foul trouble. The rebounding numbers matter more than their raw totals might suggest. For a perimeter player standing 6 feet 6 inches tall, averaging nearly 5 boards per game requires excellent positioning and effort. Bridges doesn't possess overwhelming size or athleticism, yet he consistently makes plays on the glass through smart positioning and relentless pursuit. His assist numbers reflect improved playmaking and court vision. While not a primary ball handler, Bridges makes the right reads when opportunities present themselves. He finds cutters, swings the ball to open shooters, and generally makes intelligent decisions with the basketball. This unselfishness helps maintain good offensive flow. The combination of all these skills creates a player who impacts winning in multiple ways every single night. Teams cannot afford to ignore Bridges defensively due to his shooting ability. They cannot leave him unguarded because he'll make them pay from beyond the arc. His defensive presence disrupts opposing game plans and creates transition opportunities. As the season progresses, all eyes will be watching to see if Bridges can maintain this historic pace. Fatigue and injuries represent potential obstacles that could derail his pursuit of the statistical milestone. However, his track record of durability and the reduced minutes compared to previous seasons suggest he can sustain this production. LeBron James and the New York Knicks represent 2 of the most prominent names in professional basketball. Both entities consistently generate headlines and speculation during off-season periods, as fans and media personalities imagine potential scenarios that could reshape the league's landscape. Naturally, rumors connecting the legendary player to the historic franchise have emerged as both contemplate their respective futures. James finds himself in a unique position during this 23rd season of his remarkable NBA career. He continues demonstrating elite abilities as a passer, scorer, and clutch performer, despite approaching his 41st birthday. His longevity stands as one of the most impressive achievements in sports history. However, his role within his own team's structure has shifted dramatically compared to earlier stages of his career. The Los Angeles Lakers currently belong to Luka Doncic, the young superstar who represents the franchise's present and future. Team management has made clear through roster construction and decision-making that Doncic stands as their primary building block. James now operates as the most accomplished secondary option in basketball history, supporting the younger star rather than serving as the undisputed focal point. This arrangement allows James to extend his career while contributing to a competitive team. He no longer shoulders the burden of carrying the offensive load every single night. The reduced responsibilities should help preserve his body and maintain his effectiveness as he continues aging. However, this situation also creates questions about whether James might seek a different opportunity before retirement. The Knicks face their own crossroads as they evaluate their championship prospects. The team currently enjoys status as an Eastern Conference contender, with most analysts projecting them to compete for top honors. This favorable position stems partly from a relative lack of elite competition within the conference. While the Knicks possess talent and depth, honest evaluation reveals certain roster flaws that could prevent championship success. Management understands that capitalizing on their current window requires bold action. The entire league recognizes New York's desire to return to championship glory after decades of disappointment. This ambition has fueled extensive speculation about potential trades, with recent weeks bringing numerous reports linking the team to Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo. Enter Max Kellerman, the respected sports media personality preparing to launch a new podcast called Game Over. Kellerman will co-host the show with Rich Paul, who represents numerous NBA stars including LeBron James. The platform provides Kellerman opportunities to ask Paul direct questions about potential player movement and league dynamics. During their discussions, Kellerman explored the possibility of James joining the Knicks. The television personality, a native New Yorker himself, expressed curiosity about whether such a high-profile union could materialize. Paul initially pushed back against the suggestion, questioning where James would even consider relocating. The agent seemed skeptical that his client would abandon Los Angeles for another destination. Kellerman presented his reasoning for why the scenario merits consideration. He acknowledged that landing Antetokounmpo represents the Knicks' ideal outcome, but emphasized the difficulty of executing such a blockbuster trade. Acquiring the two-time most valuable player would require surrendering significant assets, potentially gutting the roster depth that makes New York competitive. The sports commentator suggested that if the Knicks cannot secure Antetokounmpo, they might pursue James as an alternative superstar addition. He argued that acquiring James would cost considerably less in terms of trade assets compared to the package Milwaukee would demand for their franchise cornerstone. Kellerman emphasized that New York needs to capitalize on their current opportunity window while their core players remain in their prime years. His pitch centered on the idea that adding James would make the Knicks extremely strong without sacrificing the roster depth necessary for sustained success. The veteran's championship experience, basketball IQ, and ability to elevate teammates could provide the missing ingredient for a title run. Kellerman stressed the importance of striking while circumstances favor success. Paul acknowledged that James would indeed make the Knicks better, validating Kellerman's basic premise about the potential fit. However, the agent immediately identified several major obstacles that would need resolution before such a transaction could occur. He emphasized that James possesses a no-trade clause in his current contract, meaning any potential move requires his explicit approval. This contractual protection gives James complete control over his destination. He cannot be traded against his wishes regardless of what the Lakers might prefer. Any team hoping to acquire him must not only satisfy Los Angeles trade demands, but also convince James himself that relocating serves his best interests. Paul pointed out the difficulty James would face in walking away from the competitive situation he has helped create in Los Angeles. The Lakers possess young talent in Doncic and Austin Reeves, who complement James's veteran skills. The team remains competitive within the Western Conference despite operating as clear underdogs against the conference's elite squads. James has invested time and energy into developing chemistry with his current teammates. Leaving Los Angeles would mean abandoning that investment and starting fresh in an entirely new environment. At this stage of his career, James must carefully weigh whether such upheaval makes sense. He has limited seasons remaining and may prefer stability over the uncertainty that accompanies changing teams. The Knicks would also need to make difficult decisions about their roster construction. The organization has publicly committed to their current core group, avoiding the impulsive moves that characterized their dysfunction during previous decades. Trading for James would require surrendering key contributors, potentially disrupting the chemistry and depth that make them competitive. Management would essentially be betting that James's remaining elite seasons provide more value than the younger players they would sacrifice. This calculation becomes increasingly difficult as James approaches a quarter century of NBA service. How many high-level seasons can he realistically provide? Will his production justify the cost of acquisition? Paul noted these complications when responding to Kellerman's suggestion. The agent clearly wants to explore all possibilities for his client, but remains realistic about the challenges. He recognizes that multiple parties would need to align their interests perfectly for such a transaction to materialize. The speculation reflects broader questions about James's future. He has never publicly expressed dissatisfaction with Los Angeles or indicated any desire to leave. However, his competitive nature might push him to seek a better championship opportunity if the Lakers continue falling short of title contention. New York represents an appealing destination for any star player. The city's massive market, passionate fan base, and historic franchise provide obvious attractions. Madison Square Garden remains the most famous arena in basketball, offering a stage that few venues can match. Playing for the Knicks means operating under intense scrutiny, but also receiving recognition that comes with representing such a prominent franchise. James has previously spoken about his appreciation for New York and its basketball culture. He maintains relationships within the city and understands its unique appeal. While Los Angeles offers many lifestyle advantages, New York provides different opportunities and challenges that might interest someone at James's career stage. The Knicks possess several pieces that would complement James's skill set effectively. Jalen Brunson has emerged as an elite point guard capable of operating as either a primary or secondary ball handler. His scoring ability and decision-making would mesh well with James's playmaking instincts. Karl Anthony Towns provides floor spacing and interior scoring that creates driving lanes for perimeter players. Mikal Bridges brings defensive versatility and three-point shooting that fit perfectly alongside superstars. His ability to guard guard multiple positions would allow James to conserve energy defensively while still maintaining team effectiveness. The supporting cast includes other capable role players who could contribute to winning basketball. However, assembling this group alongside James would require creative roster manipulation and potentially difficult financial decisions. The Knicks cannot simply add a maximum contract without making corresponding moves to create salary cap space. They would need to either trade for James using matching contracts or clear enough room to sign him as a free agent if he secured his release. The Lakers would presumably want significant return value in any trade scenario. They cannot allow James to leave for nothing given his continued production and marketability. Los Angeles would seek young players or draft picks that help them remain competitive rather than enter complete rebuilding mode. Matching these interests with New York's desire to maintain their core creates complicated negotiations. Paul's comments suggest that while the scenario remains technically possible, numerous practical obstacles make it unlikely. The agent isn't completely dismissing the possibility, but he clearly views it as a long shot requiring multiple factors aligning perfectly. His relationship with both James and Kellerman allows him to discuss these topics honestly without creating unnecessary controversy. The broader context involves James's ongoing legacy management as he approaches retirement. He has won 4 championships with 3 different franchises, establishing himself among the greatest players in basketball history. His decisions at this late career stage will shape how people remember his final seasons. Some observers believe James should prioritize joining a championship contender for one final title run. Others argue he should finish his career in Los Angeles, maintaining stability rather than chasing rings. These competing perspectives create ongoing debate about what choice best serves his legacy. The Knicks will continue appearing in speculation surrounding major players regardless of realistic probability. Their market size and historic struggles create persistent hope that landing a superstar will restore their championship pedigree. Management must balance these external pressures against sound basketball decision making. For now, James remains focused on the Lakers' current season while Paul monitors all potential opportunities. The agent's dismissal of Knicks rumors doesn't eliminate the possibility entirely, but suggests fans shouldn't expect any imminent movement. The combination of James's no-trade clause, his existing relationships in Los Angeles, and the practical challenges of executing such a trade make this particular scenario unlikely despite its superficial appeal. Both James and the Knicks will continue generating headlines throughout the season as their respective situations develop. The Lakers' performance will determine whether James feels comfortable finishing his career there or begins exploring alternatives. The Knicks' success will influence whether they pursue aggressive roster upgrades or trust their current construction. These parallel storylines ensure ongoing speculation about potential connections between two of basketball's most prominent entities, even if the practical likelihood remains minimal, as Paul has indicated through his measured response to the rumors.